Hey guys, it's Brooke with Super Tutor TV. Today I'm going to share with you one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make on the SAT reading section. Before we get going with this video though, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe, and also go check out supertutortv.com. We have an awesome ACT prep series there. We have a ton of blogs where we have free tips on the ACT and the SAT, and you can sign up for our mailing list there at supertutortv.com/subscribe. Okay, so without further ado, one of the biggest mistakes that I see students make in terms of the reading section is that when they're answering questions, they don't pay enough attention to the context of the passage. Rather than trying to get the passage, people look at the question, they might look back at the line where the one word or the phrase is. When you've got what I call a line read in the question, they read that one line and then they expect to find the answer or figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they guess. Okay, so that pattern of behavior doesn't work very well. The way to get questions right on the SAT reading section involves getting it. You have to understand the context of whatever you're reading, of whatever's being referred to, and context, as I like to say, is king. Okay, so pay attention to context. Don't ignore your context. That's the biggest mistake that I see. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how ignoring context can make you go awry on an SAT reading question, okay? The first one I'm going to take a look at, so I'm in practice test 5, which is May 2016 test that was given, and I'm just going to look right here at question number 15. So this is a spoiler alert. If you want to do this test on your own, pause this video, go take that test, and then you can come back. I'm going to explain a few questions from it. But first, we have this word in context question. And obviously on a word in context question, if you ignore the context, that's not very good. So whenever you have these definition questions, the most important thing is context. So I have, as used in line 12, peculiar, most, nearly, means. So here's the wrong way to do this question. Okay, I can look right here. The wrong way to do this question is just to read these 4 words, altogether different and peculiar. And then maybe you see the word different and you're like, oh, here, peculiar means different. Do you see how I'm not using my brain to understand the context, really? No, I'm just looking at like 4 words. That is not enough to understand context. You have to read more. You have to read above. You have to read below. You have to get it. You have to know what's going on in the passage, or this is going to create total failure, and I'm going to show you how. Different or peculiar, so it means kind of different. Different, peculiar. Okay, so I think peculiar means kind of weird or eccentric, so that sounds like it's eccentric. Surprising, probably not. Infrequent, that doesn't make any sense. Distinctive, I think that means different too, but I like eccentric because I think of peculiar as eccentric. Okay, I'm done. That is not how to do this problem. Okay, people? We're going to go back to line 12. I'm going to show you actually how to do it. I'm going to go all the way to here. But while women hold a subordinate relation in society to the other sex, it is not because it was designed that her duties or her influence should be any less important or all-pervading, but it was designed so that the mode of gaining influence and of exercising power should be altogether different and peculiar. So what that means, if I look at this in context, and maybe I have to read up a little bit more, it is therefore much for the dignity as for the interest of females in all respects to conform to the duties of this relation. And what is this relation? Heaven has appointed one sex the superior and the other the subordinate station, and this without any reference to the character or conduct of either. So that means one sex is the superior and women are the inferior, and women should just do that. Though they're subordinate, that's not because she is not important, but rather that she is supposed to have different kind of tasks, so that she's supposed to do things that are different from what men do. So there's a sphere that is the women's sphere, and there's a sphere that is the men's sphere, right? And if I keep reading, I kind of get more of that idea. So guess what? Eccentric is not right, because eccentric means kind of oddball and weird. It's like that lady who wears like a weird hat that looks like a flamingo, right? That's eccentric. This author is not saying that women are weirdos, which is what eccentric means. She's saying that women fit in a different sphere than men, and so therefore, right, men do this stuff and women do this stuff, and they have a different zone of stuff they do. Right? That's the idea. So distinctive is actually right, because distinctive means, okay, there's clear lines around it. It's different. Do you see how I have to understand the context in order to get this right? If I ignore the context, if I only read like this much, I'm going to fail. So remember, always use context. So that was word in context. I'm going to show you, this also works on other types of questions. You have to get it. You always have to understand, how does the information that I'm digesting, that I'm rereading, have to do with the passage as a whole? What I like to say is, anytime you have these references, like where it says line 27 or whatever it is, don't think that the only line you have to read is line 27. If you do that and that alone, you will find yourself getting into trouble because you don't read enough and then you start to make assumptions and then it's trouble, 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 okay? So I'm gonna look at one more here, which is question 28. According to Foley, an ideal global agriculture system, what? So I'm gonna go back to line 80. And I'm going to find the ideal global agriculture system. And here again is the mistake. The mistake is that sometimes people think I'm just going to read line 80 and then I'm done. So an ideal global agriculture system, in the view of the study's authors, may borrow the best from both systems. So here's the deal. Do I know what the heck both systems means? No. If I don't know what that means, I have not read enough. I need to read more, okay? So I'm going to go back up here. What it means is that while conventional agriculture is more efficient, sometimes more efficient than organic farming, there are trade-offs with each. So the two kinds of systems are organic and conventional agriculture. So the ideal global agricultural system probably takes the good things about conventional agriculture, which is the fact that it's efficient, which means probably that it produces a lot of food. Oh, the bottom line, oh wait, it's here. As he explained, look, there's explained in colon, so he's gonna explain it more here. Today's organic farming practices are probably best deployed in fruit and vegetable farms where growing nutrition, not just bulk calories, is the primary goal, but for delivering sheer calories, especially in our staple crops of wheat, rice, maize, soybeans, and so on, conventional farms have the advantage right now. So that means grains and stuff we grow conventionally, fruits and veggies and things that have nutrients we grow organically. Cool. But you see how now I can actually answer this. The ideal global agriculture system has a little bit of organic and a little bit of not so much organic. Focuses primarily on yield percentages. No, because we had nutrition, right? Then we have down here, puts the nutritional value of produce first and foremost. This is too strong, and that was only one piece, right? Now, I like this multiple factors, but check this out. In the selection of farming techniques, maybe. And then we have weighs the economic interests of farmers against the needs of consumers. So what is this about? This is about who gets the money. This is farmers need to make money, but so do consumers, right? Consumers need to save money. I don't think this is about farmers versus consumers. Do you see how this isn't it? Farming techniques, guess what this is? You might not like this noun, but if I looked at the context, that farming techniques refers to conventional agriculture and organic agriculture. If I come to this with my perfect answer and I know what it is, and I know what the ideal system is, and I've looked at the context, I hold on to that context, I know what the right answer is, and then I find the closest to that right answer that I can, and that's B. Okay, so that's how that works. But again, the mistake that people make is they go back, they read a little bit of line 80, they don't really read above and below enough, and they don't get enough information loaded into their brains so that they know the perfect answer. And then they start to read things and they expect this bell from heaven to chime and show them the way and say something really obvious. But the problem is on the SAT, a lot of times the answer choices aren't super obvious. They're what I call closest to perfect. So in order to find closest to perfect, you really have to get it. You have to like get the idea in your head and then match it up with what's here. I hope you guys found that helpful. If you're taking the SAT soon, give this video a thumbs up and check out all our other awesome videos here at supertutortv.com. If you're gonna go take the ACT, again, head to supertutortv.com, check out our awesome video prep series for that, and stay tuned to our channel. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.